ॐ शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकम् हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதீஹதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தஹே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि अर्थान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മന്യനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കനായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. I think a few others may join a little later, but I think 64, 65 we have to review, right? Okay. So since we have a small group, who wants to do 64? Who wants to do 65? Keep it open.
I do 64, so 65 okay. I haven't practiced yet.
Okay, you can do 64 then. Yeah.
Thank you. Who's doing 65?
Who wants to 65? Pritiji wanted to 65. Okay.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Dasakam 64. Govinda Pattabhisheka Varnanam. Alokya Shailodaranati Prabhavamuchaistavakopalokaha Vishveshwaram Tvam Abhimatya Vishve Nandam Bhavajatakam Avaprikshan Anvaprikshan Gargotito Nirgatito Nijaya Vargayatani Tatena Tava Prabhava Purvadikastvaya Yaragayesham Aitishtavat Bahumana Baraha Tato Vamanoti Tatvabodha Suradirajas Sahadivya Kavya Upetya Tushtavas Nashtakarvaha Sprishtva Patabjam Manimaulinate Snehasnutaistvam Surabih Payobih Govindanamaangitam Apyashinchat Airavato Bahruta Divya Ganga Pato Bibir Indro Vichachata Harshaha Jagatrayeshe Tvai Gokuleshe Tatapi Shikte Shadikopavataha Nakepi Vaikundapatepya Labhyam Shriyam Prabhete Bhavatah Prabhavat Katachitandar Yamunam Prabhate Snayan Pita Varuna Purushena Nitastamane Tumahah Purintvam Tam Varunim Karanamartya Rupaha Sasambramam Tena Jalatipena Prabhuchitastvam Pradigruhyatatam Upagatastakshanamaatmakeham Pitavatat Tattacharitam Nichepyah Harim Vinischitya Bhavan Metan
Bhavantametan.
Harim Vinischitya Bhavantametan Bhavatpatalokanapatadrikshan Nirikshya Vishnu Paramam Padam Tat Turabam Anayastvamadi Drishastan.
And the last line, Durapam Anyais.
Anyais. Durapam Anyais Tvamati Drishastan. Spurat Paranandarasa Prabhava Prapurna Kaivalya Mahapayotau Chiram Nimagnah Kalukopa Sankaha Tvayaiva Bhuman Punarutrudaste. The tune changes here, right,
Yeah,
sir?
yeah. Karabhadaravadevam.
Karapadaravadevam Devakutravatare Nijaparamanavábyam Darshitam Bhakti Bhajam Tadiha Pashuparupi Tvam hi Sakshat Paratma Pavanapuran Pahi Mama Mayebhyah. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane.
The third line, Anita, Pashuparupi is a long E. Okay. Tadiha Pashuparupi. Okay.
Thank you.
Sri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Dasakam 65. Gopi Samagana Varnana. Gopi Janaya Kathitam Niyamavasane Marotsavam Tomatha Sathayitum Pravrittaha Sandrena Chandra Mahasa Sisiri Kritashe Prapurayo Muralikam Yamuna Vanante Sammurchana Pirudita Mandala Bhihi Sammurchayantam Akhilam Puvanantaralam Tudvenunadamupakarnya vibhotarunyah tattadrisham kamapi citta vimohamapuhu tadeha kritya niratastanaya prasaktaha kantopasevara parascha saroruhakshaha सर्वं विसृज्य मुरलीरवमोहितास्ते कान्तारदेशमयि कान्ततनयो समेताः
Kanta Tano, the second last word. Kanta Tano.
कान्तारदेशमयि कान्ततनो समेताः काश्चिन्निजाङ्गपरिभूषणमादधानाः वेणुप्रणादमुपकर्ण्य कृतार्धभूषाः त्वामागता ननु तथैव विभूषिताभ्यः ता एव संरुचिरे तव लोचनाय हारं नितम्बभुवि काचन धारयन्ती काञ्चीं च कण्ठभुवि देव समागता त्वाम् हारित्वमात्मजघनस्य मुकुन्द तुभ्यं व्यक्तं बभाष इव मुक्तमुखी विशेषात् काचित् कुचे पुनरसज्जित कञ्जुलीका व्यामोतः परवधूभिरलक्ष्यमाणा त्वामाययौ निरुपम प्रणयातिभार राज्याभिषेकविधये कलशीधरे वा काश्चित् गृहात् किल निरेतुमपारयन्त्यः त्वामेव देव हृदये सुदृढं विभाव्याम् देहं विधूय परचित् सुखरूपमेकं त्वामाविशन् परमिमाननु धन्यधन्याः जारात्मना न परमात्मतया स्मरन्त्यो नार्यो गताः परमहंसगतिं क्षणेन तं त्वां प्रकाश परमात्मतनुं कथञ्चित् चित्ते वहन्नमृतमश्रममश्नुवीय अभ्यागताभिरभितो व्रजसुन्दरीभिः मुग्धस्मितार्द्रवदनः करुणावलोकी निस्सीमकान्तजलधिस्त्वमवेक्ष्यमाणो विश्वैकहृद्य हर मे पवनेशरोगान् श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Okay, so we'll start with 66 and 67 today. Like we did last time, I'll give a summary of 66 first before we get into the individual stanzas. So the last Dasakam in 65, we saw how on one autumn evening, full moon night, right, Krishna, was playing his Venunadam, was playing his flute on the banks of Yamuna in Vrindavan, which captivated the minds of all the gopis. So it kind of began into, it was the beginning of we said the Pancha Dasha, it's five Dashakams, which was dedicated to Rasa Krida, Rasa Leela. So that started in Dashakam 65. And, it talks about the spiritual purity and the nature of how the activities and the gopis' relationship with Krishna. And then he said, we said how Krishna asked, because he's the Bhagavan, he's free from all material desires, all material attachments. He's not bound by any of these senses or anything which actually comes with it, right? And we saw the longing of the gopis because when Krishna was playing the Venunadam, how all these gopis, all ages, right, whether they're small girls to really old women, they left everything that they were doing and left off their family, left off their husbands, left off their father, brothers, everybody. And then, they came there looking for Krishna. And then, in the end, Bhattaribar also says that it doesn't matter what your relationship with Krishna ends up being, because everybody has had different relationship with Krishna. But again, he says, please, bless me also with the right relationship with you, because that is very important, right? So that's what we kind of end. And then all the gopis now come to the banks of Yamuna River. That's how we ended Dashakam 65. So in Dashakam 66, it starts how Krishna, before he starts this, you always do a little bit of test, right? To see if somebody truly deserves what they are asking for. So that's what is going to happen in Dashakam 66, right? So where Krishna engages in a state of arguments, and there's a conversation that is happening between Krishna and the Gopikas in Dashakam 66. So Krishna sees that all these women of Braja have all come there, they've all come there, greeted, and they all kind of greet Krishna. And Krishna absolutely knows why they have all come, because he's the one who played the Venunadam to actually bring them over there. So of course, he knows why everybody has assembled there. But he cannot just accept as is. So he kind of first tries to push back a little, right? So he kind of asks them, why have you all come here? Like, it is so late at night, and, everybody, like we said last time, everybody came independent of each other. So he says, you all seem to have come here. What is the purpose? What do you want? Why have you come here? And he says, it's so late at night, or whatever the time was, right? It's late. The moon is there. So he says, it's very risky to be coming alone to the forest. So how did you kind of leave everything and come here alone to the forest? This is not right, And he says, you should go back to go back to your houses. He says, as a responsible person, you have certain duties to perform. You have to take care of your kids, you have to take care of your house, you're cooking or whatever you are doing. She says you cannot abandon all your karma, right? And just suddenly come abandoning everything, because it causes a lot of anxiety to your family members as well. So he says, that's not the right thing. You cannot quit everything. So it's some indication, that Krishna is also giving here, saying that, and this is what he'll continue to say to everybody, right? He says that you don't need to be with me physically in person for you to be able to love me, right? If you love anybody for that matter, and that's the fundamental teaching of this relationship with the Gopikas, is to say you don't have to physically be with somebody to absolutely love them. If you love them, you should love them irrespective of whether they are there with you physically in person or not in person. So that's what Krishna also says. You don't need to be with me. You can always think of me anytime you want, right? So you should all go back, because this is not the right place for you. So when Krishna kind of pushes back, all these Gopikas, like we said, have quit everything they have and they've come. So they become very miserable. They become very sad. So they don't know what to do, because they feel like they are not welcome here, right? Where Krishna is saying, go back now. Why have you come here? At the same time, they also realize they cannot go back because they've kind of left everything and come. So they're kind of stuck in this mode. So, they've abandoned everything and come. So anyway, even though Krishna says, go back, you should not be here at this time of the day. I don't know why you have come. They remain, their love for Krishna remains unflinching, right? So that's where the word, selfless love, right? It comes, right? Because for us, many times, when we do something, I'm talking about most human beings, right? When we do something, we always expect something in return, especially when you contribute something to your family or you contribute something, you always want to feel appreciated. All of us, we want to feel appreciated, right? And when we don't feel appreciated, then we feel like, okay, why am I doing this? It was just worthless, right? I did all this effort, nobody was thanking me back. See, but that's what even the Gopikas could have felt, but they did not. That is the difference between any love and Gopikas love. Even when we go pray to Krishna or we pray to God, we say, I really want something. And then we pray, we do 1 month or we do a mandalam of prayers, right? Nothing happens. What will our first point be? I prayed so much to you, right? I did all these things to you. You couldn't help me with this one small thing. Or the exact opposite of what we want happen, we also feel the same. That is the difference. Here, the Gopikas love Krishna no matter what. So even though Krishna says you should go back, they're saying, even if you don't love us, Krishna, we love you, right? So we don't feel like abandoning you and going back, right? So you cannot let us go like this. So at this time, when Krishna then, says, he says that, yeah, the Gopikas say that we understand that what you're saying is valid. We need to be able to go back. But however, he says, once we have come and once we have seen you and once we have decided to be around you, like just like how the Vrajra, the Patnis, the Yajwa Patnis did. He says, once we've seen you and once we are being around you, then absolutely we don't feel like actually going back, right? So I think they say they are very staunch, right? They are not going to go back. So with that, Krishna says, okay, you all can stay back, right? And then you all can, that's kind of where this Dasakam ends, where this conversation keeps happening between Krishna telling them to go back and the gopis saying why we cannot go back. And then eventually Krishna then decides to have them, stay back there. And in the end, Bhattacharya says that, Krishna, it's like being with you, it's separation from you is extremely hard for somebody who has gotten attached to you. And that's what the gopis are actually going through, is once they've gotten attached to you, they just don't feel like separating away from you. So that is pretty much this chapter is Jana Hladana Varnam, is like delighting the gopis, finally making the gopis happy by saying that they can be around Krishna. That is this entire chapter. Okay, so let's get, this is also a small chapter like most others. Okay, so we can go now. You can be a student first half, and then Maitli Garu, you can be a student. So stanza 1. So this is it's a 2-line, but it actually follows the 4-liner tune, okay?
So what's the name of the Dasakam that you would say?
Dasakam is Gopi, long E, Gopi, Jana Hladana Varnanam. Jana Hladana is what it says in my book in Sanskrit. But the English version of it is like delighting the Gopikas, keeping the Gopikas happy because they're staying back.
Thank you.
Stanza 1. Upahyatanham sudrusham कुसुमायुधबाणपातविवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपिता जगात वाममिम उपयातानां सुदृशां कुसुमायुध बाणपात विवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपि ता जगात वाममिव उपह्यातानां सुदृशां कुसुमायुधबाणपातविवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपि ता जगात वाममिव
उपयातानां सुदृशां कुसुमायुधबाणपातविवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपिता जगाथ वाममिव उपयातानां सुदृशां कुसुमायुधबाणपातविवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपिता जगाथ वाममिव
गोपी जना ह्लादन वर्णनम् उपयातानां सुदृशां कुसुमायुधबाणपातविवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपिता जगाथ वाममिव उपयातां सुदृशां कुसुमायुधबाणपातविवशानाम् अभिवाञ्छितं विधातुं कृतमतिरपिता जगाथ वाममिव
गगनगतं मुनिनिवहं श्रावयितुं जगित कुलवधूधर्मं धर्म्यं खलु ते वचनं कर्म तु नो निर्मलस्य विश्वास्यम्. So it just says that, like I said before, right? If you follow the Rama avataram, you have to do what Rama is doing, right? But in Krishna avataram, Krishna says a lot of, jnana, knowledge Krishna gives to everybody. He gives this to Gopi later on, he gives it to Arjuna later on, he'll give it to Uddhava. There's a lot of knowledge that Krishna preaches, but his actions may not necessarily be aligned. His actions, you cannot follow what Krishna is doing. You should listen to what Krishna says. That is a slight difference, right? Of course, we cannot go on the mountain, fight with Kaliya and all that stuff, right? So you cannot try to replicate what Krishna does, saying Krishna did dance with the gopis, like we explained last time. The fundamental essence of Krishna dancing with the gopis is very different, which we cannot comprehend. So we cannot try to replicate what Krishna is doing, but we should follow what Krishna is preaching. So that's where here, he's also telling, this is to everybody in the world, Krishna is telling, you don't abandon your dharma, what you are supposed to be doing to come to me, right? That is also not the right thing. You should kind of keep that balance going between what your dharma is and your worship of me. Gaganagatam huninivaham shrabayitum jagita kulavadhudharmam धर्म्यं खलु ते वचनं कर्म तु नो निर्मलस्य विश्वास्यम्.
गगनगतं मुनिनिवहं श्रावयितुं जगितकुलवधूधर्मं धर्म्यं खलु ते वचनं कर्म तु नो निर्मलस्य विश्वास्यम्. गगनगतं मुनिनिवहं श्रावयितुं जगितकुलवधूधर्मं धर्म्यं खलु ते वचनं कर्म तु नो निर्मलस्य विश्वास्यम्.
गगनगतं मुनिनिवहं श्रावयितुं जगितकुलवधूधर्मं धर्म्यं खलु ते वचनं कर्म तु नो निर्मलस्य विश्वास्यम्. गगनगतं मुनिनिवहं श्रावयितुं जगितकुलवधूधर्मं धर्म्यं खलु ते वचनं कर्म तु नो निर्मलस्य विश्वास्यम्.
Rightly, that first line, Muni Nivaham. Nivaham.
Muni Nivaham.
Yeah. Akarnya te Pratipam Vanim. So that may that is there, we're going to break it. First put a im, Vanim, comma. Next word will start with a A. Eni drishaha, put a F to join. Eni drishah param dinaha ma karuna sindho, comma. Parityajet yati chiram. So that word you cannot break it. So you have to say the whole word as is. Parityajet yati chiram vile pustaha. So this dashakam little bit difficult to say it because it may not exactly land like the dashakam 44, right? It is very similar to that. आकर्ण्यते प्रतीपां वाणीम् एनीदृशः परं दीनाः मामा करुणा सिन्धो परित्यजेत्यति चिरं विलेपुस्ताः.
आकर्ण्यते प्रतीपां वाणीं येणीदृशः परं दीनाः मामा करुणा सिन्धो परित्यजेत्यतिचिरं विपुले विलेपुस्ताः. आकर्ण्यते प्रतीपां वाणीं येणीदृशः परं दीनाः मामा करुणा सिन्धो परित्यजेत्यतिचिरं विलेपुस्ताः.
आकर्ण्यते प्रतीपां वाणीम् ऐनीदृशः परं दीनाः मामा करुणा सिन्धो परित्यजेत् यथि चिरं विलेपुस्ताः.
Because the first line, the
आकर्ण्यते
second line is enidrisha, a sound.
ए आकर्ण्यते प्रतीपां वाणीम् एनीदृशाः परं दीनाः मामा करुणा सिन्धो परित्यज्येत् यदि चिरं विलेपुस्ताः.
तासां रुदितैर् लपितैः, comma.
Rajesh,
Ah,
can I interrupt?
yeah, go ahead, yeah.
In my Malayalam book, the Paritya Jeti, that's broken up as Paritya Jeti, long T, and Adichiram.
Yeah. So
Into two.
essentially, yeah, it's parityaja iti atichiram, three different words, but parityaja iti atichiram. So if it's joined, you just have to combine that so that ti and a, right? Parityajeti, j, jeti. There's missing a ya in yours then. It cannot be.
Jeti Adichiram, right?
Jetyati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've just broken the T and A. Jethi and Atichiram. So T and A becomes Tya, Tya, right? So Parityajet Yatichiram.
Mm-hmm.
It's just separated the two words, that's it. So Parityajeti and Atichiram, the T and A becomes a Tya. Okay.
Thank you.
Tasam Ruditair Lapitaihi, Karunakula Manaso Murare Tvam Tabhis Samam Pravritto, Yamuna Pulineshu Kamam Abhirantum. If you want to break it, that Kamam Abhirantum. Tasam Ruditair Lapitaihi Karunakula Manaso Murare Tvam Tabhis Samam Pravritto Yamuna Pulineshu Kamam Abhirantum.
तासां रुदितैर्लपितैः करुणाकुलमानसो मुरारे त्वं ताभिः समं प्रवृत्तो यमुनापुलिनेषु काममभिरन्तुं. तासां रुदितैर्लपितैः करुणाकुलमानसो मुरारे त्वं ताभिः समं प्रवृत्तो यमुनापुलिनेषु काममभिरन्तुं.
तासां रुदितैर्लपितैः करुणाकुलमानसो मुरारे त्वं ताभिः समं प्रवृतो यमुनापुलिनेषु काममभिरन्तुं. तासां रुदितैर्लपितैः करुणाकुलमानसो मुरारे त्वं ताभिः समं प्रवृत्तो यमुनापुलिनेषु काममभिरन्तुम्.
Abhirantum.
अभिरन्तुम्.
Chandrakara Syanda Lasat, and then put a plus. Sundara Yamuna Tatanta Vithishu, long T, long V, short shu, Vithishu. Gopi Janotariyehi. So after the yai, there is a ra. So you break it, put a visarga, comma. Gopi Janotariyehi, comma. Next word will start with the a. Apadita samstaro nyashidas tvam. Chandrakarasyandalasat sundara yamuna datantavitishu gopi janotariyehi apadita samstaro nyashidas tvam.
चन्द्रकरस्यन्दलसत्सुन्दर यमुनातटान्तवीथीषु गोपीजनोत्तरीयैः आपादितसंस्तरोऽन्यशीदस्त्वम्. करेक्टा?
Yeah.
Okay. चन्द्रकरस्यन्दलसत्सुन्दर यमुनातटान्तवीथीषु गोपीजनोत्तरीयैः आपादितसंस्तरोऽन्यशीदस्त्वम्.
चन्द्रकरस्यन्दलस सुन्दर यमुना तटान्त वीतीषु गोपीजनोत्ति तरीयैः आपादितसंस्तरो न्यपीदस्त्वम्. चन्द्रकरस्यन्दलस्य सुन्दरयमुनातटान्तवीथीषु गोपीजनोत्तरीयैः आपादितसंस्तरो न्यशीदस्त्वम्.
Sumadhura narmalapanaihi, comma. Khara sangrahanaischa chumbanollasaihi gadhalingana sangaihi. So that is that is there. Put a visarga, comma. This will go away. Sangaihi. Twamangana lokam akuli chakrishe. If you want to break it, lokam akuli. If you want to, lokam akuli chakrishe. Sumadhura narmalapanaihi kara sangrahanaischa chumbanollasaihi gadhalingana sangaihi twamangana lokamakuli chakrishe.
सुमधुरनर्मालपणैः करसङ्ग्रहणैश्च
Chumbanollasaihi
चुम्बनोल्लासैः गाढालिङ्गनसङ्गैः त्वमङ्गनालोकमाकुली चकृषे. ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம். ராகம் மறந்து போச்சு.
Sumadhura narmalapanaihi.
सुमधुरनर्मालपनैः करसङ्ग्रहणैश्च चुम्बनोल्लासैः गाढालिङ्गनसङ्गैः त्वमङ्गनालोकमाकुली चकृषे.
सुमधुरनर्मालपानैः करसङ्ग्रहणैश्च चुम्बनोल्लासैः गाढालिङ्गनसङ्गैः त्वमङ्गनालोकमाकुली चकृच्छे. सुमधुरनर्मालपानैः
Panaihi narmalapanaihi.
सुमधुरनर्मालपनैः करसङ्ग्रहणैश्च चुम्बनोल्लासैः गाढालिङ्गनसङ्गैः त्वमङ्गनालोकमाकुली चकृषे.
This is like we said, like 44, 57 also. I think Pradambasura Vadavarnam also. It kind of comes in the same way. It's like two liners, but it follows a 4-liner tune. I think as long as you get the words right, it'll just come for you. right? Or if till the point you get the words right, it'll feel like, is it going to land? Am I going to stop at the right place? Once you get the words, you just keep going till the comma comes, it'll land properly. Vaso harana dine, comma, yad vaso haranam pratishrutam tasam, tadapi vibho rasa bibasha swantanam, comma, kanta Subruvama dadhaha. That's one word. Subruvama dadhaha. Vasoharanadine yat vasoharanam pratishrutam tasam tadapi vibho rasabibashaswantanam kanta subruvama dadhaha.
वासोहरणदिने यद्वासोहरणं प्रतिश्रुतं तासां तदपि विभोरस विवशस्वान्तानां
Swantanam.
yeah, विवशस्वान्तानां कान्तसुब्रुवामददाः वासोहरणदिने यद्वासोहरणं प्रतिश्रुतं तासां तदपि विभोरस विवशस्वान्तानां कान्तसुभ्रुवामददाः
वासोहरणदिने यद्वासोहरणं प्रतिश्रुतं तासां तदपि विभोरसविश्वा वि- वि- तदपि विभो रसविवश स्वान्तानां कान्त सुब्रुवाम दधाः वासोहरणदिने दिने यद्वासोहरणं प्रतिश्रुतं तासां तदपि विभोरसविश्वशस्वान्तानां कान्तसुभ्रुवामददाः
Kandalitha gharma lesham, comma, kunda mridu smera baktra patojam nandasuta twam trijagat sundaram. So that mu that is there, you first put a im sundaram, comma. Next word will start with the u. Upaguhya nandita balaha. कन्धलितघर्मलेशं कुन्दमृदुस्मेरवक्त्रपाथोजं नन्दसुतत्वां त्रिजगत्सुन्दरम् उपगूह्य नन्दिता बालाः.
कन्दलितघर्मलेशं कुन्दमृदुस्मेरवक्त्रपाथोजं नन्दसुतत्वां त्रिजगत्सुन्दरम् उपगूह्य नन्दिता बालाः कन्दलितघर्मलेशं कुन्दमृदुस्मेरवक्त्रपाथोजं नन्दसुतत्वां त्रिजगत्सुन्दरम् उपगूह्य नन्दिता बालाः
कन्दलितघर्मलेशं कुन्दमृदुस्मेरवक्त्रपाथोजं नन्दसुत त्वां त्रिजगत्सुन्दरम् उपगुह्य नन्दिता बालाः कन्दलितघर्मलेशं कुन्दमृदुस्मेरवक्त्रपाथोजं नन्दसुत त्वां त्रिजगत्सुन्दरम् उपगुह्य नन्दिता बालाः
Viraheshwangaramaya, not break that word, Viraheshwangaramaya, comma, Shringaramayascha Sangame Hitvam Nitaram, that we can break it that ma, Nitaram Angaramayaha. So that is there, put a visarga comma, Nitaram Angaramayaha Tatra Punas Sangamepi Chitramidam. विरहेष्वङ्गारमयः शृङ्गारमयश्च सङ्गमे त्वं नितराम् अङ्गारमयः तत्र पुनः सङ्गमेऽपि चित्रमिदम्.
विरहेष्वङ्गारमयः शृङ्गारमयश्च सङ्गमे हि त्वं नितराम् अङ्गारमयः तत्र पुनः सङ्गमेऽपि चित्रमिदं विरहेष्वङ्गारमयः शृङ्गारमयश्च सङ्गमे हि त्वं नितराम् अङ्गारमयः तत्र पुनः सङ्गमेऽपि चित्रमिदम्
विरहेष्वङ्गारमयः शृङ्गारमयश्च सङ्गमे हि त्वं नितरामङ्गारमयः तत्र पुनः सङ्गमेऽपि चित्रमिदं विरहेष्वङ्गारमयः शृङ्गारमयश्च सङ्गमे हि त्वं नितरामङ्गारमयः तत्र पुनः सङ्गमेऽपि चित्रमिदम्.
Radha.
Nagesh,
Uh,
sorry to stop you.
yeah.
Third line is this Nitaram or Nitaram?
Nitaram Angharamaya.
Thank you.
Okay. Radha Tunga Payodhara Sadhu, put a plus, Parirambha Lolupatmanam, one word, Lolupatmanam. So that's two lines together. Aradhaye Bhavantam, comma, Pavana Puradhisha Shamaya Sakala Ghadan. So there are certain places in Narayaneeyam where the introduction of Radha is happening, right? Now in Bhagavatam, there's no reference to the name of Radha, but it's reference to a very great devotee, the most ardent of devotees amongst the Gopikas. It says there is a person, right? So here Bhattacharya is saying that Radha, who is the most devoted to you. So he says, so essentially Krishna tells the Gopikas, okay, you can stay back, right? And then you spend time with them in the banks of Yamuna. But of course, your most favorite person is Radha, with who you spend the most time. That's what Bhattacharya is ending this stanza with and saying, please eradicate all the ailments. Radha Tunga Payodhara Sadhu Pari Rambhalolupatmanam Aradhaye Bhavantam Pavanapuradhisha Shamaya Sakalagadan.
राधा तुङ्गपयोधर साधु परीरम्भलोलुपात्मानम् आराधये भवन्तं पवनपुराधीश शमय सकलगदान् राधा तुङ्गपयोधर साधु परीरम्भलोलुपात्मानम् आराधये भवन्तं पवनपुराधीश शमय सकलगदान्
राधा तुङ्गपयोधर साधुपारि राधा तुङ्गपयोधर साधुपरिरम्भ लोलुपात्मानम् आराधेय भवन्तं पवनपुराधीश शमय सकल गदान्.
I think the third line, first word, Aradhaye.
आराधये भवन्तम्. ओके. राधा तुङ्गपयोधर साधु परिरम्भलोलुपात्मानम् आराधये भवन्तं पवनपुराधीश समय सकल गदान्. श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Since we have some time, let me just chant this whole chapter once so you all can just follow it on mute. So you'll kind of get the flow of this. Like it may look tough, but it's not. So Upahyatanham Sudrusham Kusumayudabhanapata Vivashanam Abhivanchitam Vidhatum Pritamatirapita Jagata Vamamiva Gaganagatam Muninivaham Shravayitum Jagita Kulavadhudharmam Dharmyam Khalute Vachanam Karmatuno Nirmalasya Vishwasyam Akarnyate Pratipam Vanhim Enidrishah Param Dhinaha Mama Karuna Sindho Parityajetyati Chiram Vile Pustaha Tasam Ruditair Lapitaih Karunakulamanaso Murare Tvam Tabhis Samham Pravritto Yamuna pulineshu kamam abhirantum Chandrakarasyandalasat sundara yamuna tatantavitishu Gopi janottariyaihi Apadita samstaro nyashidastvam Sumadhura narmalapanaihi Karasangrahanaischа chumbanollasaihi Gadhalingana sangaihi Tvamangana chakrishe Vasoharanadhine Yat vasoharanam pratishrutam tasam Tadapi vibho rasavivashaswantanam Kanta subruvamadhadaha Kandalita gharmalesham Kundamridusmera Vaktrapatojam Nanda sutatvam trijagat sundaram Upaguhya nandita balaha Viraheshwangaramaya Shringaramaya Sangame Tvam Nitaram Angaramaya Tatra Punah Sangame Pichitramidam Radha Tunga Payodhara Sadhu Parirambhalolupatmanam Aradhaye Bhavantam Pavanapuradhisha Shamaya Sakalagadhan Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, Dasakam 67. So we'll switch. Shashi, you can be a student, and Vijay, you can be a student. So this one, 67, I'll say the Sanskrit name which is there, but I'll tell you the English meaning of it also, is Bhagavatas Tirodhanadi Varnanam, which is disappearance of Krishna. So this is a very beautiful chapter actually. This is one very nice, like a Gita. Gita is something which is like a song, right, which is embedded into this chapter. So Krishna decides to spend, and we'll do the same thing. I'll give a quick summary. So Krishna decides to spend time with the Gopikas, right? So now the Gopikas are extremely happy. First, they were very worried because Krishna said, go back, right? So they were all in a state of remorse, but now Krishna decides to spend time with them. So they all feel so happy and they're in a state of bliss. And what happens is, anytime you get what you want, you get very happy, right? And when you get what you think you want, you also have a sense of pride in it, right? Because you are so happy and you're proud that I got it. Because if you got it, means somebody else did not get it, right? So you always feel a little proud that I have got it. So that is what is happening is, they say the opposite of devotion is pride. That is the opposite of devotion. So the gopis, because they were now with Krishna, so they were feeling so proud of themselves, saying we are the best, we are the luckiest people. So thinking you are lucky is also a pride, right? Because you are comparing yourself with somebody else. So the gopis keep saying we are just absolutely so lucky because Krishna is spending time with us. There are a lot of people who Krishna is not spending time with. So we are actually the most fortunate ones because Krishna has decided to spend time with us. So Krishna sees that, the gopis were too proud of their good fortune. So he says, for like we saw in the Vastropahara episode, is anytime you have to get complete surrender to the Lord, you should not have any of the shields protecting you. Like in the episode where Krishna took the clothes, it was to remove their sense of ego or sense of I-ness, which they thought, right, that separated them and Krishna. So that got removed. So here Krishna is saying they are feeling too proud. So Krishna says, okay, I'm going to have another Leela to kind of eradicate the pride, right, that you actually have. So what happens is when they're spending time with Krishna and they're all so happy, that they're with Krishna, suddenly Krishna disappears. So when suddenly Krishna disappears, now when it's one thing to not have something, but it is even bad when you have something for a while, which you absolutely love, and that thing gets taken away. So now when Krishna disappears, the gopis feel even more sad because now he's no longer around him. So what they do is they really start, wandering around and saying, where did Krishna go? So they all kind of team up, right? Because they are all having the same problems, right? So they all kind of team up and they all go around looking for Krishna. So when they go around looking for Krishna, they go and ask everywhere. They look everywhere. They can't find it. And because, Bhattacharya is a poet and, he says the gopis go ask everybody. They go ask the trees. It will say, hey, Champaka, Karnikara, hey, Mallike. They'll go look at each of the trees. and say, did each of you see Krishna pass by here? Because if he must have passed by the Vrindavan forest, you must have seen him. So if you've seen where Krishna is, you tell us where he is. So they first go ask all the trees. And they say, you know what, maybe Krishna might not have passed through any of the trees. And then they say, you know, we think we are lucky. It is the earth, because no matter where Krishna is always his foot is on the earth. So he says, earth is most, you know, fortunate. So they go ask Mother Earth saying, did you see Krishna? Where was Krishna last seen? You know, because you have performed a lot of austerities, you know, because Krishna is always stepping foot on you. You are always in touch with Krishna. So you might probably know where Krishna is. They keep looking everywhere for that. Then what happens, you know, when you people, you know, you all, you know, when you feel pangs of separation with anybody, whether it be your children or your grandchildren or your parents or any of these people who you feel separated, you always think of the time you spent with them, right? Saying, you know what I did with my child, I did with my grandchild. You always keep thinking about it. So that's what the gopis are also doing. You know, they keep remembering all the things that they used to do with Krishna, saying, you know what, we really miss Krishna when Krishna was there, when, you know, when he's running around, he ran around, he break this butter pot of mine. So they keep talking all about Krishna stories, and they keep enacting all the things that Krishna used to do, of saying how, you know, when Putana came, what he did, when Sakatasura, what happened, Trinavarta, what happened, you know, how he danced on Kalia, how he lifted Govardhana mountain. They keep talking about all of Krishna's leelas because they're just absolutely missing Krishna so much right now. So because of this, you know, they keep thinking, when you constantly keep thinking about something, you kind of get into that character, right? Or you get into that person. So that's what happening is the gopis keep non-stop thinking about Krishna here, that they feel that they are Krishna now, you know, because they are acting like Krishna, they're talking like Krishna. So they feel like, you know, sometimes, you know, pretty much I'm like Krishna now, you know, because I'm behaving like him, I'm thinking about him all the time. So that's what is happening. So each of them really starts feeling that, you know, that they are Krishna. However, when they are doing all these things and they're going around looking for Krishna wherever it is, and Krishna is missing, right? One other gopi was also missing. So that is in Narayaneeyam Dasakam says that is Radha, right? In Bhagavatam it says the superlative devotee of yours is missing, right? So they see Krishna is missing and one other devotee is missing. Suddenly they see like footprints on the this thing, like two people walking. They say, you know what? We thought we are lucky. We are most unfortunate. That particular Gopika is extremely lucky because looks like that particular Gopika, you know, was who Krishna likes the most. So Krishna has actually taken her and gone. So they keep comparing, saying, you know, very fortunate. Radha is very fortunate because Krishna has gone with Radha. He's abandoned all of us. And they constantly keep thinking about Krishna. They keep walking and suddenly they see that 2 feet or to 4 feet footprints becomes 2. So they don't know what happened. And then suddenly, as they're wandering around crying, suddenly they see Radha coming. So they see Radha, what happened? She says, you know what? You all were so proud. So Krishna just took me along. I also disappeared with him. But then I got very proud, saying that all these gopikas are there. Krishna picked me because I am Krishna's most favorite, right? And then you all are not favorite. And I became so proud with my favoritism that I told Krishna, you have to lift me. I'm not able to walk anymore. You know, and that time Krishna disappeared because at that time the pride kicked in me that I am the only one who Krishna likes and not others. So the moment that pride kicked in me, Krishna disappeared from my sight as well. So even I'm also looking for Krishna now. I don't know where he is. The last I saw him was here. He has now disappeared. So they all start wandering. So at that time, you know, they start crying. That's why they sing this very nice thing called as a Gopi Geetam. So this comes in Bhagavatam. It is about 40 verses that comes in Bhagavatam where they keep crying and yearning for Krishna. So when you really miss something, you know, it really talks about the deep longing that they have for Krishna, where they keep wandering around looking for Krishna and crying everywhere, asking for everything. And once they come to that point where they truly miss Krishna and the pride has evaporated from their minds, at that time on the banks of Yamuna, Krishna finally comes back. That's how this Dashakam comes to an end. So this is to kind of say that, like I said earlier, the opposite of devotion is pride. Anytime we get more devoted or anytime we are too close to something, there's always a pride that kicks in saying that I am the best, right? Nobody does things as good as I am. I am fasting for 2 weeks. Nobody can fast like I have, right? Everybody else fasts only for 2 days. I fasted for 10 days for Navaratri, right? I am more devoted. The other person is not more devoted. Whatever that comparison may be, it comes in everybody's mind. He says the moment that pride kicks in, your devotion will go down. And when devotion goes down, Krishna goes away. And only when you truly earn for Krishna without having any pride, without comparing it to anybody, like in this case, Krishna comes back to everyone, right? Because all of them kind of are going through the same, process, right? Same mental thought process here. So that's what this Dasakam is. So Krishna finally comes back, and then in 68 and 69 is where the Rasa Krida happens. So we kind of saw the three, pre-chapters, and then 68, 69 is where the Rasa Krida happens. Okay, so we'll switch. So I said, Arjuna, I think Shashi and Vijay did, yeah.
Yeah.
स्फुरत्परानन्दरसात्मकेन त्वया समासादितभोगलीलाः असीममानन्दभरं प्रपन्नाः महान्तमापुर्मदमम्बुजाक्ष्यः स्फुरत् परानन्दरसात्मकेन त्वया समासादितभोगलीलाः asimam, you can break it that second ma. Asimam anandhabaram prapannaha. Put a visarga, you may not have it in your book because you're putting a comma there. Prapannaha, comma. Mahantam apur madam ambujakshyah. You can break it that ma. Madam is pride. Madam ambujakshyah. स्फुरत्परानन्दरसात्मकेन त्वया समासादितभोगलीलाः असीममानन्दभरं प्रपन्नाः महान्तमापुर्मदमम्बुजाक्ष्यः.
Rajesh ji, ஒரே ஒரு question. அந்த ரச ஆத்ம கேனவா கேகவா?
கேன.
கேன. Okay.
Just na.
स्फुरत्परानन्दरसात्मकेन त्वया समसादितभोगलीलाः असीमम् आनन्दभरं प्रपन्ना. Sorry, I think I lost my. प्रपन्नाः महान्तमापुर्मदम् अम्बुजाक्ष्यः स्फुरत्परानन्दरसात्मकेन त्वया समासादितभोगलीलाः आसीमम् आनन्दभरं प्रपन्नाः महान्तमापुर्मदम् अम्बुजाक्ष्याः.
That third line, first word, it's asim. You said asimam, it's asim.
Oh, okay.
Okay, asim.
Asimam anandabaram prapannaha. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
स्फुरत्परानन्तरसात्मकेन त्वया समासादितभोगलीलाः असीममानन्तपरं प्रपन्नाः महान्तमापुर्मदमम्बुजाक्ष्यः स्फुरत्परानन्तरसात्मकेन त्वया समासादितभोगलीलाः असीममानन्तपरं प्रपन्नाः महान्तमापुर्मदमम्बुजाक्ष्यः.
निलीयते सौ मयि मय्यमायं रमापतिर् विश्वमनोभिरामः इति स्म सर्वाः. Put ih to join sarvah. Kalitabhimanaha. Again, add a visarga and comma. Kalitabhimanaha. Niriksha Govinda Tirohito Bhuhu. Niliyate sau mayi mayyamayam ramapatirvishwamanobhiramaha iti sma sarvah kalitabhimanaha niriksha Govinda Tirohito Bhuhu.
निलीयते सौमयि मय्यमायं रमापतिर्विशा मनोभिरामाः इति स्म सर्वाः कलितभिमानाः निरीक्ष्य गोविन्द तिरोहितो
Boohu. Boohu.
बूः
And the second line is Vishwa. Ramapatir Vishwa.
रमापतिर्विश्व ओके निलीयते सौमयि मय्यमायं रमापितिर्विश्वमन्
Ramapatir.
रमापतिर्विश्वमनोभिरामाः इति स्म सर्वाः कलितविमानाः निरीक्ष्या गोविन्द तिरोहितभूः
The Shashi, that second line in Manobhi Ramaha. You're saying Ramaha. Manobhi Ramaha.
ओके
निलीयते सौ मयि मय्यमायं रमापतिर्विश्वमनोभिरामः इति स्म सर्वाः कलिताभिमानाः निरीक्ष्य गोविन्दतिरोहितो पूः निलीयते सौ मयि मय्यमायं रमापतिर्विश्वमनोभिरामः इति स्म सर्वाः कलिताभिमानाः निरीक्ष्य गोविन्दतिरोहितो पूः
Radha Bhidam Tavada Jata Garvam. So that im, ma, that is there, you put break it. Garvam, im, comma. Next word will start with the a. Ati Priyam Gopavadhum Murare Bhavanupadhaya Gato Vidhuram, comma. Taya Saha Swaira Vihara Kari. So that Krishna disappears, but it's taken Radha. Just Radha and Krishna have disappeared. Radhabhidam tavada jata garvam atipriyam gopavadhum murare bhavanupadaya gato vidhuram taya sahaswaira viharakari.
राधाभिधां तव तावद जगात गर्वाम् आतिप्रियं गोपवधू मुरारे भावानुपादाय गतो विदूरं तया सह स्वैरविहारकारी राधाभिधां तावद जात गर्वाम् आतिप्रियां गोपवधू मुरारे भावानुपादाय गतो विदूरं ताया सह स्वैरविहारकारी.
Shashi, in the second line and the fourth line beginning. The second line is Ati. You're saying Ati.
Radhabhidham.
The next line. Ati Priyam. Okay, it's just Ati. You're saying A. You're adding an extra A.
Okay.
Especially the fourth line also you're saying Thaya is Taya. You're adding an extra A there. Just Taya.
Okay.
राधापितां तावद जातगर्वाम् अधिप्रियां को भवतु मुरारे भवानुपादाय कदो विदूरं दया सहस्वैरविहारकारी राधापितां तावद जातगर्वाम् अधिप्रियां कोपवधू मुरारे भवानुपादाय कदो विदूरं दया सहस्वैरविहारकारी
Tirohitetha Tvai Jata Tapaha, comma. Samam Sametaha. Put the ih to join. Sametah. Kamalaya Takshyah. Vane Tvam Parimargya Yentyo, comma. Vishadamapur Bhagavan Naparam. Tirohiteta Tvai Jata Tapaha. Samham Sametah Kamalaya Takshyah. Vane Tvam Parimargayantyo Vishadamapur Bhagavan Naparam.
So is the last line Vishadamapur or Mapuh?
Apur. If you have a visarga there, put a ir to join. Vishadam
Okay.
apur.
Mapur.
Ir. Yeah.
Bhagavan
Bhagavan Naparam. Double na will come, so you just say it continuously. Bhagavan Naparam.
Okay.
Rajeshji, in the
Yeah.
Tamil version, there is a Parimarga Yantya. You want
Yeah,
us to change it to
Yentyaha.
Yantya.
Sometimes it might be Yentyaha.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
So
just
should
change it
we
to
change
Yentyo. Yeah.
Yantyo? Okay, thank you, sir.
तिरोहिते तत्त्वयि जाततापः समं समेता कमलायताक्ष्याः वने वने त्वां परिमार्गयन्त्यो भगवन्न पारम्.
And the second line, last word, Kamalaya Takshyah.
कमलायताक्ष्यः. Okay. लायताक्ष्यः. तिरोहिते तत्त्वयि जाततापः समं समेताः कमलायताक्ष्यः वने वने त्वां परिमार्गयन्त्यो विषादमापुर्भगवन्न पारम्.
विरोहिते तत्त्वयि जाततापाः समं समेदाः कमलायताक्ष्यः वने वने त्वां परिमार्गयन्त्यो विषादमापुर्भगवन्न पारम्. तिरोहिते तत्त्वयि जाततापाः समं समेदाः कमलायताक्ष्यः वने वने त्वां परिमार्गयन्त्यो विषादमापुर्भगवन्न पारम्.
Ha Chuta Ha Champaka Karnikara, Ha Mallike Malati Bala Valyaha Kim Vikshito No Hridayeka Choraha, Ityadi Thas Twat Pravana Bilepu. Like I said, they go asking around. This Chuta is referring to the mango tree. Champaka is Champaka tree. Karnikara, Mallika flower tree. So each of the trees, they go and asking. Ha Chuta Ha Champaka Karnikara, Ha Mallike Malati Balavalyaha, Kim Vikshito No Hridayeka Choraha, Ityadi Tastvat Pravana Vilepuhu.
हाचूतः चम्पककर्णिकारः कर्णिकारः is it
Karnikara.
right? कर्णिकारः मल्लिके मालति बालवल्यः
Valyaha.
किं वीक्षितो नो हृदयैक्यचोर इत्यादि तास्त्वत्प्रवना विलेपुः.
And the third line, Hridayeka Choraha. So Visarga.
हृदयैक्यचोरः. Okay. हाचूतः कर्णिकारा हा मल्लिके मालति बालवल्ययाः किं वीक्षितो नो हृदयैकचोरः इत्यादि तास्त्वत्प्रवना विलेपुः.
And the second line, last word, Shashi, Bala Valyaha.
बालवल्यः. Okay. वल्यः.
हाचूतः चम्पककर्णिकार हा मल्लिके मालति बालवल्यः किं वीक्षितो नो हृद्यैकचोरः इत्यादिदास्त्वत्प्रवणा विलेपुः. हाचूतः चम्पककर्णिकार हा मल्लिके मालति बालवल्यः किं वीक्षितो नो हृद्यैकचोरः इत्यादि तास्त्वत्प्रवणा विलेपुः.
Which is third line, last word, Hridayeka Choraha.
हृदयैकचोरः. Okay.
Yeah. Nirikshitoyam Sakhi Pankajakshaha, Puro Mametyakulam alapanti. You can only break it that ma if you want. Mametyakulam alapanti. Tvam bhavana chakshushi vikshya kachit. So this it and the tha. So first put a it, comma, kachit, comma. Tapam sakhinam dviguni chakara. It's like sometimes when you're really when you're really thinking about somebody, anywhere you look, you feel like you're seeing them because their mind will come. Same thing also when you're afraid, right? So we'll talk about Kamsa's thing later. So even when you're afraid of something, anywhere you look, you feel like you're seeing that object, right? Similarly here, because they're so yearning for it, so people are beginning to imagine, hallucinate that they are actually beginning to see Krishna in various places. Nirikshitoyam Saki Pankajakshah Puro Mametyakulamaalapanti Tvam Bhavana Chakshushi Vikshya Kachit Tapam Sakhinam Dviguni Chakara.
निरीक्षितोऽयं सखिपङ्कजाक्षः पुरो ममेत्याकुलम् आलपन्ति त्वां भावना चक्षुषी वीक्ष्य काशित् तापं सखीनां द्विगुणी चकार निरीक्षितोऽयं सखिपङ्कजाक्ष्यः पुरो ममेत्याकुलम् आलपन्ति त्वां भावना चक्षुषी वीक्ष्य काशित् तापं सखीनां द्विगुणी चकार
निरीक्षितोऽयं चकिपङ्गजाक्षः पुरो ममेत्याकुलम् आलपन्ति त्वां भावना चक्षुषी वीक्ष्य काचित् तापं सखिनां द्विगुणी चकार निरीक्षितोऽयं चकिपङ्गजाक्षः पुरो ममेत्याकुलमालपन्ति त्वां भावना चक्षुषी वीक्ष्य काचित् तापं सखिनां द्विगुणी चकारः.
And the fourth line, Sakhinam, long. Tapam Sakhinam. Okay.
Tapam Sakhinam Dviguni Chakara.
So,
your question is the Kachi Tapam, you don't have to split also, right?
No, but otherwise, it's two different words, Kachit and Tapam. Tapam is like heat. So
you have to split.
Yeah, you split it there. Otherwise, it becomes one full line, right? So because you're pausing in the middle, that's the right place to pause in middle. Kachit, Tapam. Huh?
Kama
is at Kachit. After Kachit. So Tvam Bhavana Chakshushi Vikshya Kachit, comma. Tapam Sakhin. Okay.
Thank you.
Tvadatmikasta Yamuna Tatante, comma. Tavanu Chakruhu, put a ih to join. Tavanu Chakruh Kila Cheshtitani, short e. Vichitya Bhuyopi Tataiva Manat, same as last time. This two it. So first you put one it. Manat, comma. Next word starts with the next it. Tvaya Vimuktam Dadrushush Cha Radham. Tvadatmikasta Yamuna Tatante Tavanu Chakruh Kila Cheshtitani Vichitya Bhuyopi Tataiva Manat Tvaya Vimuktam Dadrushushcha Radham.
त्वदात्मिकास्त यमुना तटान्ते तवानुचक्रुः किल चेष्टितानि विचित्य भूयोऽपि तथैव मानत् त्वया विमुक्तां ददृशुश्च राधाम्. त्वदात्मिकास्त यमुना तटान्ते तवानुचक्रः किल चेष्टितानि विचित्य भूयोऽपि तथैव मानात् त्वया विमुक्तां ददृशुश्च राधाम्
त्वतात्मिकास्ता यमुना तडान्ते तवानचक्रुः किल चेष्टितानि विचित्य भूयोऽपि तदैव मानात् त्वया विमुक्तां तदृचुश्चराताम् त्वदात्मिकास्ता यमुना तडान्ते तवानचक्रुः किल चेष्टितानि विचित्य भूयोऽपि तदैव मानात् त्वया विमुक्त्यां तदृशुश्चरादाम्
Tataha, put the is to join. Tatas samam ta vipine samantat. Again, it and a tha coming. First put a it and comma. Samantat, comma. Next word will start with a ta. Tamovataravadhi. Cannot break it. Marga yantyaha. Punar vimishra yamuna tatante, comma. Brisham vilepuscha jagur gunamste. So this 8 and 9 stanzas is kind of like the Gopi Geetam I was telling you, which is there in Bhagavatam. That is kind of condensed in 8 and 9. Where Bhadrapad is just telling they're lamenting and crying and singing out for you. And in 9, he talks about one line of it, but that's essentially the 40 stanzas condensed here. Tatas samhamta vipine samantat tamovataravadi margayantyah punarvimishra yamuna tatante Bhrisham vile pushcha jagur gunamste.
ततः समं ता विपिने समन्तात् तमोवतारावधि मार्गयन्त्याः पुनर्विमिश्रा यमुना तटान्ते वृषं विलेपुश्च जगुर्गुणांस्ते ततः समं विपिने समन्तात् तमोवतारावधिमार्गयन्त्याः पुनर्विमिश्र यमुना तटान्ते वृषं विलेपुश्च गुणांस्ते जगुर्गुणांस्ते
ततः समं ता विपिने समन्तात् तमोवतारावति मार्गयन्त्यः पुनर्विमिश्रा यमुना तडान्ते वृषं विपुले पुश्च जगुर्गुणांस्ते.
And Vijay, on the word vile pushcha.
Okay. Vile pushcha jagurgunamste tatas samam ta vipine samantat tamovataravati margyayantyah punarvimishra yamuna tadante brisham vipula vile pushcha jagurgunamste. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Thatha vyatha sankula manasanam, comma, brajangananam karunaika sindho jagat trayi mohana mohanatma, comma, tvam pradurasirai, one word, pradurasirai mandahasi. So finally, when you realize that they were at that extreme level of separation and they truly realized what was happening, you finally came in front of them. Tatha vyata sankula manasanam brajangananam karunaika sindho jagatrahi mohana mohanatma tvam pradurasirai mandahasi.
तथा व्यथा सङ्कुलमानसानां व्रजाङ्गनानां करुणैकसिन्धो जगत्त्रयीमो मोहनात्मा त्वं प्रादुरासीरै मन्दहासी. Is that right?
Yeah, and the pradurasirai mandahasi.
प्रादुरासीरै मन्दहासी तथा व्यथा सङ्कुलमानसानां व्रजाङ्गनानां करुणैकसिन्धो जगत्त्रयी मोहनात्मा त्वं प्रादुरासीरै
Tvam pradurasirai.
त्वं प्रादुरासीरै मन्दहासी.
तदा व्यथा सङ्कुलमानसानां व्रजाङ्गनानां करुणैकसिन्तो जगत्त्रयी मोहनात्मा त्वं प्रादुरासीरयि मन्दहासी तदा व्यथा सङ्कुलमानसानां व्रजाङ्गनानां करुणैकसिन्तो जगत्त्रयी मोहनात्मा त्वं प्रादुरासीरयि मन्दहासी.
Sandhigdha sandarshanam atma. If you want to break at that ma, you can do it. Sandarshanam atma kantam, comma. Tvam vikshya tanvyaha is there. Put the is to join. Tanvyas sahasa tadani. Kim na chakruhu. Put the f to join. Chakruf pramadati bharat, comma. Sa tvam gadat palaya marutesha. So of course they were extremely happy because Krishna has finally come back now. The Guru Arapa, please eradicate all my ailments. Sandhigdha sandarshanamaatmakantam tvam vikshya tanvyas sahasa tadhani kim na chakruf pramadati bharat sa tvam gadat palaya marutesha.
सन्दिग्धसन्दर्शनमात्मकान्तं त्वां वीक्ष्य तन्व्यः सहसा तडानी. Is that right?
Yeah, tanvyas. You said it correct. Yeah, tanvyas.
किं न चक्रुः प्रमदाति भारात् सत्वं जगात् पालय मारुतेश.
Gadat, fourth line. Satvam gadat.
सत्वं गदात् पालय मारुतेश. सन्दिग्धा सन्दर्शनमात्मकान्तं त्वां वीक्ष्य तन्व्यः सहसा तदानीं किं न चक्रुः प्रमदाति भारात् सत्वं गदात् पालय मारुतेश.
ददातीमा இல்லனா தடாதீமா ராஜேஷ்ஜி
Tadhanim.
ததானீம்.
Okay, tadaani.
Sir, can you
Sandikta
read the,
Sorry.
can you sing the first line, sir? Sorry.
Sandhigdha sandarshanam atmakantam tvam vikshya tanvyas sahasa tadhanim. Okay. Any word, Anita, or specifically, or?
No, sir, I just wanted to know how it was broken down. Now I get it, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
सन्दिग्धसन्दर्शनमात्मकान्तं त्वां वीक्ष्य धन्यः सहसा तदानीं किं न चक्रुः प्रमताति पारात् सत्वं कदात् पालय मारुदेश. सन्दिग्धसन्दर्शनमात्मकान्तं त्वां वीक्ष्य धन्यः सहसा तदानीं किं न चक्रुः प्रमताति पारात् सत्वं कदात् पालय मारुदेश.
Rajesh, in my book it says Tanvyaha.
Yeah, that Visarga becomes a is because sa is coming later, right? Sahasa. So tanvyas, that's it. Okay.
Rajesh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. probably out of the scope of your teaching, but if Radha was not mentioned in Bhagavatam, who first mentioned her in any of the books or works?
Yeah,
Do you know?
so in Bhagavatam, they don't use the word Radha. Okay, but they do refer to somebody who is an extension of you. Okay, because Radha, at the end of the day, an extension of the spiritual energy of Krishna, right? Because she's incarnating along with Krishna. So they don't use the word Radha. Now, in terms of who first used it, I don't know, because what happens is there is a lot of these other stories are spun around that local region, but it's not, the word Radha is not used in Bhagavatam. I don't know where else it first came up. If any of you find out, please let me know as well. But but it is used in a lot of places. It's like they have charitrams of Radha itself from that perspective, right? In fact, when you go to Vrindavan, they actually say more of Radha than Krishna. Okay, if you next time you go to Vrindavan, you'll see they'll have, everybody will say Radhe. Nobody will say Krishna. They only say Radhe, because it's like they feel that Radha is like our hometown girl kind of a feeling, so they feel like Radha is an extension of Krishna, and Radha is more to Vrindavan than Krishna is to Vrindavan. That is the belief there. Because Radha spent time in Vrindavan more than Krishna spent. Of course, Vrindavan is Krishna's bhumi, right? No doubt about it. It's a Punya Kshetram, but people there are more related to Radha. They feel more connected to Radha. So I'm sure there were more things which were written around it, but I don't know which specific book first, indicated that.
ராஜேஷ்ஜி இந்த 67ஓட டைட்டில் என்ன ராஜேஷ்ஜி? பகவத திரோதானம்
திரோதானாதி நினைக்கிறேன்.
திரோதானம் புனఃப்ராதுர்பவச்ச அப்படின்னு இருக்கு எனக்கு.
ஓகே, திரோதானாதி வர்ணனம் அவ்வளவுதான் எனக்கு இருக்கு.
இல்ல அதை எப்படி படிக்கிறது? ரெண்டு பகவதஸ் இல்லையே, அதுக்கப்புறம் ச வரல. பகவத கோலன் திரோதானம்,
அந்த கோலன், that visarga, it's is essentially, right? Because ta
பகவதஸ்
is coming.
பகவதஸ்
திரோதானாதி வர்ணனம்.
எனக்கு வந்து பெருசா இருக்கு ராஜேஷ்.
Why don't you send what you have in your text? I'll respond back.
Okay.
What Bhagavas Tirodhanadi Varnam.
Yeah, Tirodhanadi Varnam in my book, but her book has something else. She has
Tamil அப்படிதான் இருக்கு. Tamil it is all this other stuff.
Yeah, other things. So just put it in the WhatsApp group. Put what you have, right? And then I will tell you where to break it.
Okay. In Malayalam, it's a 3-line heading. It says, Bhagavan Maranya Gopigale Dukhipichadum Vindum Pratyakshapetta Adhikam Sukhipichadum.
Yeah, it isn't telling the story. It's telling the entire story, right? Like disappearing, making them worried, coming back and making them extremely happy. Which
happier,
is yeah, exactly. Which is the 4 parts of the story, right? Okay. All right. So next class we'll do the Rasa Krida Varnam. Beautiful 2 chapters, 68 and 69, which is the most beautiful chapters in entire Narayaneeyam in terms of the tunes, right? And how it goes about. If some of you might have heard it from other Parayanams. So we'll cover it in the next class. Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam dristamatre punarurupurusharthatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhati sakshat gurupavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you.
Bye.